everybody feels that we are ignored as women after childbirth when it comes
100%.
to what happened down there.
Yeah.
And it's shameful. It's crazy. And you made the point, Marcy, about, how much we care about sports injuries and yet, or a broken arm rehab or a shoulder. And yet, why can't we as a society, like, just be okay talking about, when your butthole's torn? Let's be honest.
I know. I mean, let's go. Let's just jump right in. I know. I mean, it's like, I feel like I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, but it's very true. I mean, when you look at just from like a physical standpoint, like the demand of pregnancy on a woman's body. So it's 9 months or 10 months of increasing load, right? So it's like you're carrying something in your bicep for 9 months that just keeps getting heavier. And then we have like change of center of gravity and change of mass, and we have back pain and all these hormonal components. And then we're like growing this human and another organ, and we have all of this like increase in weight and water and blood and all these physiologic changes that are happening to our body that affects our entire body. I mean, not just like one part.
Right.
And then we have to like get that human out of us some way, whether it's vaginal or C-section.
Neither way is pretty.
Either way is hard on the body. And then we're just expected to, like, those muscles are just expected to start functioning the way that they should before. And the analogy that I make all the time is like, if we have a baseball pitcher who has a shoulder injury for 9 months or has a surgery, which is like similar to an episiotomy or like a tear during delivery, at 6 weeks post-surgery, that pitcher isn't told, okay, now you're good, like pitch an entire game.
Just use a little lube and have a lot of sex.
Right. Like, you're fine. Oh, it still hurts. Fine. Like, you're going to be just fine. Don't worry about it. You're a pitcher. What do you expect? Like moms get all of this, like, well, you wanted to be a mom.
Just nap when the team naps. That's what you tell them.
Nap when the team. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Just pump in the dugout. You're fine. What are you complaining about? So it's like, there's this huge disconnect between how we are treating women and birthing persons physically after baby. And it's just not happening in other musculoskeletal injuries or surgeries. And it's really fucked up.
No, you're so right. Like, you can get carpal tunnel on in your wrist from typing too much and get paid leave from a business, but you can have your insides explode. And no one gives a shit.
I know. And they're just like, I know, girl, I know. So it's really a problem. It's a big problem in the United States. We do a really bad job of caring for mamas. And I'm sure, as we all know, like, I've had 2 very large babies come out of my vagina, and I do this work, and I am always like floored by just the lack of resources and support. And I hate it, and it just makes me insane, but it's very true. There's not a lot offered for moms as a standard. We get that like 1 6-week appointment, and then
good luck to you.
Yeah. It's like, you're good to go, that's it. And it's not physiologically how the body heals. It's just
so. At what point, like, so when you work with women who are working on therapy for this area,
yep.
Do you think is it people who like have now their baby's 4 and they're like, God, I just never took care of that area? Or are you encouraging women to come in? I mean, of course you're encouraging women to come in whenever, but like, what's the norm right now? Like, where people are discovering, gosh, I really could get help with this. I don't have to pee my pants.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I don't have to wear a pad for the rest of my life. It's a great question, and it varies for sure. So a lot of times I see women throughout the lifespan. So I do have moms who do my programs, and when I was in the clinic, come into the clinic, who like kids are in high school or college, and they're like, you know what? I have been peeing when I sneeze for 18 years. Yeah. And it's like bullshit. And and like my doctor says, it's just what happens and I need to have surgery. And it's like, okay, so those people are completely appropriate to come in for sure. And then I have moms who come in right around the 6 to 8 week postpartum mark, because they've been cleared, quote unquote, to return to exercise and return to sex. And they're like, great, I can go back to running. I used to run before I had a baby and now I'm going to run again. And then they like take 2 steps and they feel like their vagina is falling out. Yeah. Or they're like peeing all over the place, or they try to have sex the first time and they have all this pain and they're like, what the fuck is this? So then they find me on their own most of the time. And then they're like, this isn't like, why is this happening? I'm not used to this.
Good for them. I
know. And I do feel like in the last, 10, well, not even 10, but maybe in the last like 4 years or so, when social media just kind of like really blew up, that there is a lot more resources for moms and a lot more kind of knowledge like flowing out there. So they can be like, oh, this isn't like, I'm not alone. This is something that everybody experiences. And like, what did you do about it? And what do I do about it?